Hey guys, and welcome to the FitPro Social with me, David Kyle.
And me, Ash Burley.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's FitPro Social. Ash, how are things?
It's good. Yeah, I'm enjoying the Easter weekend, which is happy. Lots of chocolate coming up, so I'm really excited about that. And if anyone's watching this live, you'll notice we're trying to get a little bit more professional. So me and Dave have got headphones now, proper sound kit. We're doing all right. We're getting there.
I just didn't want to look like a strange guy, like with a proper full-on commentators, like WWE or like MMA, where they're sat there with these big headsets on, talking to them, commentating on everything. But no, I think it looks okay. The sound is unbelievable, though.
Yeah, it really is. It sounds so good. It sounds like very professional to the point where I'm tempted to buy that headset. Really am. Really am.
So
anyway,
yeah, we've got a slightly different episode today. Usually, I think most episodes are quite fun. But today we're going to kind of go in on a slightly different topic, and it's all about this or that fitness business edition Easter special.
So yeah, for that.
Yeah, we should do. Do you want to tell everyone how we're going to do this then, and then we'll kind of maybe dive straight into the first one then?
So I think the idea here is to do it as a bit kind of a fast-paced, fun thing where we're going to go through like 4 or 5 different kind of topics, and me and Dave are going to debate over them. And kind of just dig into that way. So it'd be very punchy, very kind of to the point, and then move on to the next one, and move on to the next one. And as we go through this, as always, this is the FitPro Social. So if you are working today, if you're not, if you're just chilling, watching on social media or wherever you're watching this, like just literally let us know your thoughts on what we're talking about, or even if you want a little extra topic for us to talk about, just drop it in the comments. You never know, we can jump onto it. So yeah, should we dig into the first one? We made a little list, which is all to do with cold open and warm up. 2-3 minute fast fire round. We're going to talk about this one.
Okay, so the first one's going to be a 3-week trial or a paid taster session.
So I'm always up and down with these things. Depends, I think, on what you're doing. So if we're doing it in person, I think it's very different to doing it online. And I also think it depends on how you've marketed those people to your services. But I'll let you go first. We'll talk about the gym side of it first, I guess, and the offline stuff, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. So you can kind of see one for each, if that makes sense. So the 3-week trial would definitely work well for most commercial gyms where they've got huge volume of people coming in. Likewise, a paid trial session might be for the more personal training, more smaller groups, more where it's slightly more intimate. So you can't have huge volume coming in and you've got a big churn of that volume. You would rather only bring in people who are almost ready to pay to join you straight away. Saying that, there's no reason why you can't do a free one session to let people come and try that session, have a go, and then move on to your £150, £200 a month. And likewise, there's no reason you can't have a paid session for people wanting to come and join a commercial gym and achieve that. So there is options for both. I think I know which one I would go for, but what about for online?
I think for online, it does depend on how you're going to bring people in. Free taster sessions aren't really a thing online because you can do Zoom sessions. If you're doing that kind of online training, then fair enough, you can invite someone for free, and I think that can work. But in reality, that Zoom style session is very, very similar to what you do if you was in a gym or a studio. So the same kind of principles apply. When it comes to actual online stuff, it depends how you're going to market people into your business. If you're going to do like a membership, you're going to bring people into membership and have them continue going on. Free trials can be great for that. What I generally find though is when you're doing that, it tends to be more lower priced. So the issues you kind of get there is because they're going to membership, people have this idea, it's online, it's a membership, it's like an app, it's whatever. It's not going to be that, there's not a huge amount of value there, a time to establish it yet. This can work well if you bring them in and then you've got plenty of upsells and you can make money from the upsells on the back end of it. So that can work well. And it works well if you've got a decent following, you're doing lots of marketing to bring people in, or even running ads directly to it as well, because it's a low end thing to bring people into and kind of get them into your ecosystem. So running direct ads to it, or you've got a big following where there's lots of trust and you can move them into it, is great. I think if you're doing kind of like high-end coaching or big kind of front end offers and things like that, it doesn't work too well. If you're doing high ticket coaching, it doesn't really work too well. But yeah, for lower memberships, direct ads, high following, great. For people that are more like higher ticket, like to coach, it can have a bit of a negative effect in terms of how much you can charge.
So for everybody watching, let us know, what do you think? What's got you better results? Free week or paid trial? So maybe let's look at some common mistakes that maybe people run when doing this then. So the 3 week trial, there's a huge easy mistake there where you just offer it to everybody and anybody. There's no gates in place, there's no hoops they need to jump through. You're just getting loads of people through. And then there's no follow up, there's no chasing, there's no how did you get on with the session, there's no kind of like way to follow up with them. I definitely think that's probably one of the, well, there's two there really. You're letting anybody in and then you're not following up with them.
Yeah, they're the two biggest ones I always see. You have to remember what those free trials are for. A free trials job is to get people to pay you money. That is it. That's what its job is. So what you do in that free trial needs to lead towards that. Well, the biggest things I tend to see people do is they'll say, right, I've got this membership program or I've got whatever. I'm going to give them a 2 week or a month free trial or something like that. And all they do is let the program run. They just say, I'm just giving you access to the same thing my clients get access to. And they forget all the other stuff. Like you should be chucking in testimonials. You should be chucking in like future pacing stuff. You want people thinking about what the future is going to be, talk about how it's going to benefit them, and actually have things that they're designed to move them into actually paying. That's what you want to do. And ideally, try and get them to commit before the free trial's even up. That's one of the best ways to do it personally. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I tend to see.
Let's flip it to paid taster sessions then. So I think there's definitely a few here, but I think the paid taster session is getting that pricing wrong, because we want to allow people to come into the business to trial that session, but you don't want to like blow their mind with the price. So, you know what I mean? You don't offer a huge, massive discount because it almost becomes a free trial session.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to like scare them away by giving them a price that makes them, it's too difficult for them to want to commit to. So on the paid trial session, I think that's really the only kind of mistake I could see most people make, was just charging too much.
Yeah, I think you have to remember again what people are doing when they go for these kind of trials. It's because they're on the fence about something, so you have to get that balance right. If you push them too far over with being too high priced, people won't make a jump into that session, and you also haven't had a chance yet to establish the value, because that's all it is. In reality, your session is probably worth that, and what your offer is worth probably a lot more than what you may charge for that session or whatever you're offering them. But at the end of the day, you want to get them in there so you can establish your value, how you're going to help them, and then become so much easier to then charge them more later down the line. And don't forget, all this is about trying to get people to stay with you for as long as possible. So you could have your taster session, and then you could have some kind of front end offer, and then you can move them into some kind of subscription based offer at the end of it. That's where you're going to make most of the money. It's the retention, and also you can charge more because you've established that value, you built that relationship up with them. So yeah, don't overprice things. Don't overprice yourself out of the market in the first instance, and just think more long term.
Don't just think one is definitely worse than the other. They both can work. It's just in the format that you want to put them in. So moving on quickly, because it's got to be quick and fast.
Yes, quick and fast.
Google reviews or video testimonials?
Me personally, both. Like everything. I'm a big kind of flywheel marketing guy. I think it should be everywhere. Like you want to be putting yourself in different places. So if somebody comes to you and they see your content on social media, they see your reviews on, say, Facebook, they then go through and they see you on Google and your Google reviews because they're looking for you. They go to Trustpilot, for example, and they look on there and they see reviews on there again. And then they go to your website or they see your social media content and you're sharing testimonials, whether that's video testimonials or just like carousel testimonials or whatever it is. The more people can see of that, the better, because it's just building up trust. So I don't really think it's an all thing. Ideally, I'd have both.
But which one builds trust faster?
These days, I think video testimonials, personally. I think people go and look at Google reviews. People ask for them. And the beauty about Google reviews is you can see the stars at the top. I think more people look at the number of stars you've got and the actual score you've got than what they do actually reading them.
That makes a huge difference, you know. Just putting those stars there, everyone thinks, oh, wow, okay, it's 5-star. It must be true.
Yeah. And I think that has a big impact on it. I think in terms of building trust, I think video testimonials can do it at a certain level, but I do think they're both. It's difficult. So I think they both do play the part. I think a lot of people in the first instance, when they want to make a choice, they will look at Google reviews or Trustpilot reviews and look for those high star things and the cool things to put on your website as well, and to share on the bottom. It adds that kind of that social proof, that trust. The beauty about video testimonials is it's a good way of getting people to, if you do them well, because you can do bad video testimonials, you can do good ones. If you can get your clients to tell a story about where they started from, what their experience was like when they signed up to you, what happened during that process, and what their life's like now, then you're on for a winner, because they can, hopefully your ideal clients can identify with who that person was, that client, before they started working with you. They can tackle all the barriers they've got because they talk about what it was like joining your program. They talk about the experience. So now that potentially that client has an idea of what's going to happen. They know what to expect because somebody who they're like has gone through that experience and sharing it with them. And now they're talking about how amazing their life is, how they're feeling, how good they are, how it's benefited them. And then now you're setting that scene of like, I could be like that. So very instant with a good video testimonial, somebody can go from like, yeah, that's me. I'm going to do this.
But you could write, they could write that as well, though.
Of course they could. Yeah, they could write Google reviews as well. So like, yes, they could write that. You could write it for them as well. And I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. I don't think anything particularly wrong with people necessarily helping. Yeah, it's to actually help them, because reviews, especially video testimonials, can be a bit more difficult to get because people are wary about it. Or they're a bit uncomfortable about talking about it on video. So to give them something to guide them and help them, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, really, as long as it's honest.
I think for myself, we need that mixture of everything. Unfortunately, not everybody is going to want to watch a video because they're sat on the busy train, or they're sat on the bus, or they're sat at the work cubicle, and they just can't watch that video. So if we're going to do videos, we've got to put subtitles on them. But then some people just don't like watching this type of stuff. Therefore, they would rather read. But then what's the point in reading or watching when you can just see a before and after picture and see a clear transformation between one and the other? Or somebody holding a whiteboard up that says, in 6 weeks, I have lost X. So like you said at the start, we need that wide-ranging selection of testimonials because people have different ways that they consume your content. So we need to make sure we cover all of those bases.
And even more so than that, people will consume different types of content at different stages of the buyer's journey as well. Because like if someone's just like, okay, I'm kind of aware of a problem, I can see, oh, there's a whiteboard or there's before and after, that will get you through the door. But then as you're on the fence thinking about it, you're probably going to be doing more research, or some people will do more research. That's where the video testimonials can come in handy, the Google reviews can come in handy. So there's always different stages as well, I think, that people will consume content at different parts of that journey.
Yeah. The only things that probably we would say that most people get wrong, the video is either too long or too boring, or the review is just not clear enough. Like we all have those really annoying clients who say, can you leave me a Google review? And you haven't told them how to do it. And they just go on the Google review, give you 5 stars and says, yeah, you know what, Ash is great.
It does my head in.
And that's it. Like, what kind of a review is that?
Yeah. Like, thank you very much. But it's not really a review. It's more like a rating.
Yeah.
It's a different way you go and rate me on Google compared to give us a review. But I think that's an important thing. Like, so it's a big mistake. Help them do it. Give them a guide. For video reviews, we have a 5-step guide that we send through to people with some questions on. If they struggle, we'll do this. I'll say, let's jump on Zoom for 10 minutes and we'll go through it. And I'll go and edit it, cut it down to size, and done. And that's, again, make them so they're interesting. Like, don't have dead space in there. Like, people ain't got time. They don't want to listen to the they don't want to listen to you breathing. They don't want to listen to you just like waiting and thinking about stuff. Like, cut things down.
Yeah.
So it's very quick to the point. The key bits that are important. And away you go. And
So
learn how to use hooks.
Moving on. Flash sale or long campaigns?
I love it. It's always both.
It
System with both. I think it depends on the situation. I think, you should use both throughout the year. There's nothing wrong with flash sales as such, depending on what's going on. Like, we're kind of doing one at the moment because we're changing some things and merging some old services and products together. So we're having a bit of a kind of flash sale, if you like, coming up. But but you also should have long campaigns running all the time. Because if you don't have long campaigns running all the time, you're reliant on those kind of flash sales, which means you have to be very, very smart with your cash flow if you're doing that. Where long campaigns can help support your cash flow throughout the year.
But not even that. If you have regular flash campaigns, let's say you announce a big 10% discount or 50% off when it's the buyer's week or like payment week. Like we always see it from all these catalog magazines and stuff where the paydays come in. So everyone messages you saying it's payday, get these offers now. If your business is known for that, then no one is going to buy from you throughout the month until they get to that point. So flash sales are fantastic. Like, they're really good. It can get you really quick cash. But at the same time, we also need to have these long campaigns going all the time, like you just said, to make sure we're always funneling people through. Because at the same time, flash sales are only targeting people who want to buy that moment in time. When the flash sale is off, then there's no one to buy because you're not nurturing them through the stages that we've just talked about in the success story before and after pictures section.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be very targeted with what it is, and accept the fact that if you don't, and I think this is the big mistake people make. Actually, I know we haven't regard to stakes, but it is doing flash sales because you're panicking. Don't do that, because you can do it at the wrong time. Like, they should be strategic.
Massively. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't do that. Like, you need to be strategic with flash sales. Otherwise, exactly what you said, they could put something out at the completely wrong time to go and do it. Like, you could do a flash sale in the middle of Easter when no one's paying attention to anything. But then if you do it towards the end of Easter, where it's payday and there's people got time off right now, you might get more. Like, it's just understanding when to best go and do something. Yeah,
I think what people get wrong with flash sales is that they reduce the price significantly because they think that is the only way to run a flash sale, where a flash sale doesn't have to be reducing the price. It could be giving more value, giving more content, giving an extended period of time. So flash sale, come and join our 6-week program now, and everybody that joins right now, we'll give you an extra 4 weeks on top, making this 6 weeks for a 10-week program. Now, you've not reduced your price. You've just extended the length of the program. So, like you were just saying there, if you're going to do these flash sales, make sure it's strategic. You know what the offer is going to be. You know why you're running the offer, and you're not completely snookering yourself by bringing a load of low-quality clients in at a hugely reduced price where they're not going to carry on.
Yeah, and that's such a key important thing to remember. Like, it's not just about price. Sales is not just about price. It's about value add, but also how you restructure stuff sometimes. I mean, you can do, like at the moment, we have a kind of course that we offer, and it's only available through our coaching program, our group coaching program, the academy. But it's now going to be available individually just for a short period of time, because we're changing quite a lot of how things are going to be delivered based on feedback from clients and where the market's going and things like that. And so because of that, we can say, well, let's take this particular product that's never been available before and now go and sell it. So it's not discounted. It's not anything else. It's just, it's now available to a different market. And that opens up other markets for us, for example, markets in Australia, because they can't jump on the group coaching course because they're asleep. So, like, we now have another product we can do, and we can do targeted flash sales for that particular product to a certain particular area because it's more suited for that. So there's quite a few things you can do with flash sales, but all the time you should have these long campaigns running. Otherwise, you can have a bit of a cash flow issue.
Hey guys, we're going to take a real quick break here now.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. So if you're loving this episode and want to listen more often, then please make sure that you like and subscribe by clicking one of the buttons around wherever you're listening or watching this right now.
Perfect. Cheers for that, Ash. Let's get back to the episode.
The next one is, we've just said we can use either or, but I think this next one is an obvious one. Facebook ads or local leaflet drops.
I mean, I'm going to go either or anyway, just to wind things up a little bit. I mean, like, technically speaking, like, Facebook ads have a really good effect on things like that, and they really do. Like, if you get them right and you know what you're doing, and if you get, I think, experts in to help you, they're like one of the best returns on investments you can ever get in terms of cost per lead and so on, and what you could do with them. That said, local leaflets are ridiculously powerful as well if you use them properly. So it does depend. It depends on your audience, who you're aiming for, all that kind of stuff. It does depend. I'll give you an example in a second.
I'll beat you to that example. Okay, I might even steal your example. So you all know we specialize in Facebook ads. That's how we grew both of our locations super quick using Facebook ads. But the first business we had was a football coaching business. Now, our audience was not on Facebook. Our audience was 18-month-old kids to 6 years of age. They are not on Facebook, so we can't run ads to get them. So we printed off these leaflets and we go and hand them to where the target audience hang out. The main places target audience hangs out is schools. So we delivered all these leaflets to schools. Some of them wanted nothing in return. Some just wanted to do an odd session in return. And in exchange, that gave us hundreds and hundreds of school kids who we could then give these flyers to join our summer holiday camps, who then grew the business really quickly from there. So Facebook ads or local leaflets, Facebook ad like 90%, but leaflets are still super powerful.
Yeah, it really does just depend on you. It comes on down to your audience, doesn't it? It really does come down to your audience. And one of the best ones I ever saw was a friend of mine did it for a window cleaning company. And I thought it was an amazing thing. And it actually mixed a lot of the stuff we talked about there already. Just see how flyers, but like for them, there wasn't really a point running ads, especially when it started to window cleaning stuff on ads. They just know that. They do it through what they see around them. So all they used to do is get 1 or 2 houses in the area. And they actually started off by knocking on random doors, saying, "Can I do your windows for free?" They do the windows for free. And they had these little leaflets, which were kind of like door hooks that you have, on like hotel doors that you can hang up and say out, "Do not disturb." They had them. And what they basically did is every house to the side of it, they hung one of these on the door. Don't post it through because people forget about posting it. They hung it on the door. They wrote on, it said, "I've just cleaned," wrote on the house number on it. "Would you like yours doing too for free? Scan here." So you get like a free trial. They go onto it, they scan it, they come down, they do the windows. Then they put a thing on it and say, "I've just done your windows for you. Scan here to sign up." And then you get like a monthly subscription on to come and do the windows. So they used to mix the flyers and free trials to get people on. And they use social proof and reviews because they got other people and say, "Oh, I've just done this house, so why don't I do yours?" Such a clever idea.
So was it like a flyer? Was it like a flyer where they could write down the house numbers of the windows?
So like exactly. So I've just cleaned, I don't know, number 12 or whatever on it. If they knew the name, even better, but they say number 12 on it. "Would you like yours doing too? Just scan here and I'll come down and do it for you." It was just so simple how they did it. If they liked it, "Would you like to, have I done a good job? Would you like to sign up?" Yep. They just scan here, go cardless, set up, done. They just keep turning up and clean your windows. Genius.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Like you said, all of these things that we've talked about today, you can use both. It just has to be done in the right setting, in the right context, with the right planning around it. Don't just dive into running Facebook ads with a flash sale, because that then is a free trial as well, because it's just not going to work. If you're just making these things up, it's just not going to happen. It has to be planned out, not just for the week, for the month, for the quarter, and even for the year. So that flash sales, long-term campaigns, you know when to be running and when to be on, when to be off, when to push hard, when to hold back, and everything is the same. So yeah, it's like one of those, which one do you go for? Both, but in the right context.
Yeah, both in right context. And it all comes down to me is understanding your audience who you want to work with as well. That's a massive part of this. Like, find out who it is you work with and the process they go through, understanding what that buyer's journey is. I know all this stuff, we Dave talk about it all the time, and it's probably boring. You think I just want to go and coach people, but this is the thing about running businesses. At the end of the day, like, you're not just coaches, you're not just personal trainers, you are business owners that deliver coaching services or training services or whatever. That's what your job is. Like, you're a business owner. So 80% of your thought process and things you do should be on developing that business. And that's understanding these kind of skills and processes and trying to think less emotionally about stuff and think more logically about stuff and plan things properly. So yeah, that would be my best advice. Think about your audience, approach it like a business, and go through these boring but very practical things you can do.
As usual, we appreciate everybody watching and joining in with your comments as we were on live. If you have got comments and you're watching us on the replay, do feel free to reply. It really does help us give better episodes and dive into more context and go into different aspects of it as well. But as usual, appreciate you all for watching. Ash, I'll see you next week.
Yep, we'll see you all next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the FitPro Social. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.